I've reached Tekken God Supreme above Yoshimitsu and Devil Jin. And as far as what that means for my particular set of skills, all right, wrong tab, wrong thing to be looking at. It's player data. Yeah, player data. I've gone far enough on like basically nothing. I've gone far enough on basically nothing. All right, you can see I have 167 wins, Tekken God Supreme, 100 wins, Tekken God Supreme, right? And then I don't really play anyone else. So I have a 53% usage. Oh, and win rate. And win rate. Alright, nice. I won 50% of my matches, which it's 50% plus, but that's nice. Yoshimitsu, 34% usage rate. Uh, so like you can see, like I actually do play these characters, and that's what I'm trying to preface this by stating that I do play Devil Jin. If you click on them, see stats. I have a 70% win rate against Kazuya. I counter him 6% of the time. 65% win rate against Kunimitsu. 50 plus against Jin. 50 plus against Law. I lose against Reyna's. I beat. Oh, bro, I have a 92% win rate on Devil Jin against June. 70 against Heihachi. 50 against King. I mean, Armor King. 75% fucking Rom. 60 against Yoshimitsu. Huh. Well, okay, some of these are like low. Like Harang, only a couple battles. So like some of these aren't really that impressive. Wait, hold on, huh? I've never faced I've never faced a Jack or a Lily. Oh no, I've just lost every match I've run into them. I've never faced an Asuka, a Bear, Anna on Devil Jin. I haven't run into these characters. That's funny. I've faced Panda more than I've faced Asuka or Kuma. Faced Zafina once, Ryu once. Yeah, like you can tell which characters I don't like facing if like there's low amount of battles played with them. Shane, stuff like that. So yeah, like I guess the Pops is easiest matchup. 70% win rate. That's kind of heat. And then rank, highest rank, cool. The reason I'm bringing this up, right, is that if we, it should show you, right? In season 2, my highest with Devil Jin was Tekken King, and I ended the season in Kishin, right? And of my 2,089 battles, I only won around 977. So 46% win rate. 46. Less than half for all that season. And this is when I started the journey, when I like started learning the character and working on it. So of course there's gonna be growing pains. Of course there's gonna be, situations where I'm getting used to everything. Everyone had so many like crazy powers. Everybody was buffed. But I'm bringing up the difference, not to be like, oh, look how much I've grown. I feel like I have not grown at all. Even though the stats will tell you I've grown. Like, a real growth period is this. In season 1, I was not really taking it serious at all. Oh, it just doesn't have the data for season 1. Okay. So it just doesn't have the data. But season 2, there was a part of me who was like, I was labbing, I was looking at some stuff. It wasn't as hardcore as I needed to be in order to succeed to the level I wanted to be at. But I was still putting in some effort. I've basically done nothing different this round. In fact, I've played less matches and I've gotten further, essentially, right, this season. Which, if we look at Yoshimitsu, it's the same thing. Ooh, my win rate against Brian is so bad. I need to figure that out on Yoshi. The mirror on Yoshi being this bad is despicable. I need to figure that out. Kunimitsu's pretty high, but I only faced her a couple times. Like yeah, like Yoshi, I have low battles. I've only lost 88 matches on Yoshi, which honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it. Of 188 battles, I've won 100. That's a good amount. I want it to be more, but hey, well, have I faced a double gen on Yoshi? I think I faced one. Yeah, I think I faced one. We did a best of three, and I won that. Did I? I can't remember. I think I have a positive one right though. So I'm bringing up the show. One, I have experience. Two, I still think inflations are heavier. Like I'm facing God of Destructions, which like God of Destructions, they do feel better than me right now. Objectively, they feel better than me. It is a hard wall. Whenever I run into a God of Destruction 1, it's like a hard stop. They just like have something figured out. But it's it feels as if one, I shouldn't be taking God Supreme whenever I do run into a God of Destruction. And two, that if I'm anywhere near that God of Destruction, that God of Destruction's status doesn't matter. Like the name is meaningless. You know what I mean? Which is not a very good feeling to have. So I just wanted to go over what I've learned on Devil Jin so far.
Get ready for the next battle.
All right. So step one, as usual, turn off a bunch of the display stuff. All right. So when I first started off, I actually didn't use many Mishima tools. Right? Didn't really use electric. Uh, didn't really use down forward 4. Didn't really use hell sweep. Right? I had a hard time putting in the motion inputs, and to this day, like I still can't wave dash. Like it's not smooth. It's not to a level in which I would want it to be to even begin to wave dash. You know what I mean? It's too choppy. So like when it comes to like Mishima tools, I have not. I'm not really doing the best. You know, like I'm not behaving like a Misha when I play. There we go. So like it's to a point where I am serviceable, but I am not like realizing the reality of Devil Jin. Right? For example, one of the key strings that I use all the time is 3-1. And 3-1 has two mix-ups. 3-1-2, which is -11, and 3-1-4, which is -9. Now, before we even get to like the separation and the differences between those moves, we have to discuss the weaknesses of the move in the first place. So if I have Devil Jin do either of these moves, alright. In fact, we're just gonna do it the other way because that's more fun for me. Doesn't need to be perfect. Alright. So, let's go over the move. The first part of the move is that it is a counter hit launcher after the second hit. Alright? That is a launcher. You can pick it up with, what is this? Yeah. You can pick it up with 1+4. Right? or you can pick it up with 3-1 again. I often do this. There we go. It's not the exact combo I do. There's parts I add, but the point is, I often, when I land this, transition into Laser Scraper. For reference, this is Laser Scraper. This sequence of moves. So like, you can use it as a sequence mix of like, is he going to finish the last hit? Yes, you can. But it's also not really advisable to do so. It's not really advisable to do so. If I could land this combo, I actually like this is my bread and butter, and I can't seem to land it. There we go. 87 damage, basically 90. This is inadvisable because the weakness of the move is, if I can get him to do it, you can sidestep it. Right? So it having this very big weakness of having a canned part of the string in which you can sidestep is huge. Because even if you're getting hit by the first move, you can hold back, in time to sidestep. There we go, 93. Right, so it can be sidestepped. Another weakness is it can be power crushed. Right, you can see it says punish. That means like there's nothing he could do about that as far as like while he's in the move. It's guaranteed essentially. If you have any leg parries, you can parry that, and then of course there's the fact that the second hit is a high, so you can always duck it and get your combo. That sort of deal. Alright. So, those being the weaknesses of being able to sidestep, being able to, being able to sidestep, being able to power crush are very big weaknesses, and you would think that the other move that looks just like it would be the mix-up. This is 3-1-2. Alright. So if I try to sidestep the last hit of 3-1-2, you can still do it, surprisingly. But it tracks to one side. So if you notice your opponent is stepping to the wrong side, then they're opening themselves up to being attacked. But then again, they were going to get hit by it either way. So it's not really a mix. You see what I mean? It's one of those strange things where I'm not quite sure why the developers made it that these two moves cover the same side, but something that the other move does cover that's unique is power crushes. Well, at least I think. Now I've been power crushed with, before through it. Yeah, you can still be power crushed through it. So it's actually one of those things where I'm not sure why the move exists. Particularly, maybe for combos. Hold on. Yeah, it's combos. But I thought it'd be like inherently interesting if the move tracked the other way or interrupt the power crushes, that sort of thing. But it doesn't. I'm not sure why. That's one of the main strings that I use, right? And I guess the idea between it is, let me turn off punishment for a second. The main idea between it is if you do this variant and you're right, and he does the press, it's instantly a launcher, right? Let's say you're doing this, and then you take the frames and you do like a hell sweep, or you do like a low, or you do like a dick jab, like anything. You just take your +2 that you get from 3-1 and you do something with it. They'll be anticipating that, and they could try to interrupt, and you just finish the string. This will instantly give you the value, like guaranteed. If they try to step, they can get hit by it. Technically, they can still step to the other side, which would be your left hand side. They can step to their right and avoid it. That is true. It's again, it's one of those. I'm not sure why the developers made it that way. It has an inherent weakness. It has 3 inherent weaknesses: power crush, the high in the string that's sort of avoidable. So like power crush, the high in the string, and of course being sidesteppable. It looks just like a combo tool. Like it's just a combo tool, I guess. And like the thing is, they're very delayable, which is inherently interesting for a string that has a high. Like you can delay it by a lot. And you can also delay the other version. So see how long he has his armor for? So you can delay them. You can delay them. Which does mean, hold on, if you can delay them. That's my fault. Because I'm still learning and growing as like a Devil Jin player. So all the ideas of a move don't always hit me immediately. But since the string is delayable, let's say you sidewalk right, which is the weak side, right? I'm sorry. Is it just a step right then? I see. So the weakness of this move isn't side walking, it's side stepping. So you go to the right, but you have to step right, and you'll be fine. Excuse me? Oh, okay. So for this move, you can side walk. But for the other one, I'm sorry. Am I not sidewalking? Am I bugging? I I must have put too much delay on it, maybe. Yeah, okay. So when it's instant, it catches me trying to sidewalk, but I can step. So okay, cool. So I am indeed correct that if you see that they're side walking as their option, like if they're walking, trying to fully step around it or fully walk around it, you can hit them. The issue is they have no reason to do that. Like I actually like genuinely no reason. For either variation, they could just option select it by wait, is the other one even on? It is. You know what I mean? Anyway, so like you get the idea of like it doesn't seem like an option select. I mean, like the move is option selectable, but the mix itself is very ununique. Like I guess the only idea that I have is like moves that auto sidestep. Like what is it for Paul? Like I know like Pool has like an auto sidestep move. Paul has one, Nina has one, Harong has
Get ready
one.
for the next battle.
Like if they're trying to auto sidestep using that move, it should catch them. Uh no, that's not it. There it is. But that's to the wrong side. They'll get hit. Yeah, he just gets hit. It's the wrong side. Oh well, you get the general idea. I guess what I wanted to properly demonstrate actually before I go about the sidestepping is if you're operating off of the mindset of introduce a delay. I mean, sidestep, right? So if I do this, sidestep to the right, his right. If I introduce a delay, it still doesn't work. Yeah, it still just doesn't work. But maybe I can. All right. Okay. I'm a little disappointed that there isn't that utility in the move. And notice how like I don't know if the utility works that way or not. And you're like, oh, at Tekken God Supreme, you should have your character mostly figured out, right? You should have them mostly like at Tekken God Supreme. You should be able to genuinely coach other players through like 90% of the game
Get
because you
ready
are
for the
90% of the way
next
through.
battle.
I mean, like all the extra added levels of like God of Destruction 1 through 8 is just for like the top echelons of players anyway to move up. So like that's why I have like self doubts about like the my ability, right? Because I don't feel like I'm at the level I should be to be up here. But the system allowed me to get up here. You know what I mean? That's like the integrity part. It's just like it feels like it's missing. You know what I mean? Oh, I should download mods for Tekken 8. See if I can get like some cool double jump mods. Um, what else is there? Oh yeah. A common string that I also tend to use is 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me break this down. So obviously it's coming from a jab one, so it's 10 frames. So something you can do is back 1 plus 2, you're +3, but they're entered into crouch. Let's assume that they're not gonna do anything crazy. Uh, they're just gonna try to like stand up and attack. Like let's say we just make Deviljin try to do something simple like this. He's when he does that, he's not crouched down anymore. Alright, so if I press jab, it should interrupt him, right? So like anything that doesn't have high evasion will be interrupted. And it's like, oh, you can just do 1, 1, 2. Yeah, it knocks him down, he's all the way over there. Or you'd be like, oh, you can just do 1, 1 into like, I don't know. There's like yeah. You can do 1, 1. Right, and then like confirm it, sidestep. You have options. That's true, but the idea behind using like 1, 2 is that it's just as fast as 1, 1, but there's follow-ups afterwards, right? So like it doesn't end at 1, 1. You can still read the situation. So it's like okay, 1, 1. Either hit confirm into a knockdown for like 20 something odd damage, like yeah, 26 damage. Or I see that it hits sidestep and then like go for like maybe like a play. You know what I mean? Something like that. If it will let me actually do the thing. I don't think I can do it in time. The point that I'm making is like it gives you options. And one of the options is 1, 2, 3. Alright. Because you get to jab. Alright, so you're doing the fastest move in the game, and then you're doing the natural jab follow-up. And again, this loses to evasion, and loses to like sidestepping, I'm pretty sure. Nah, jab swings track. So like it doesn't it tracks to that side. Tracks to the other side. So yeah, like you're good as far as like tracking goes. So the point that I'm trying to make is when you do this, you can track to either side, which is incredibly fucking dumb, I'm not gonna lie. I wish it wasn't that way. But then you have a follow-up afterwards that you can throw out. Because this is a counter hit launcher. So if I back up, right, and if I can get him to try to press, all right, this wasn't the right move, but we're probably gonna use that later. Let's say he tries to do something dumb, like a slow mo. If I catch him, it's a free combo. Right, 83 damage. $75 damage. That was 71 into Ender. So hold on, hold on. Spike does 71, and then the kickflip does the flip like steel pedal does even more. So like you get the idea of like at the wall, this gives you access to like easy damage, very easy for like a very simple combo. Like, and then even after like let's say like you count hit, you do your combo, do your stuff, blah blah blah. They get up. You can do it again. It's actually kind of funny. One of the things that I really like about the move, I need to turn off punishment, or at least make it like double press, is that part of the move. Yeah, I just need to turn it off. Part of the move, right? It's jabbing, right? So it's fast. It's -3, so you can do the first part of it and step. So like you can bait them into pressing by stepping after. Don't do this. All right, listen. This is like if you want to risk your whole life for no reason. A better option would probably be like. You know what I mean? There's tons of other safer, faster options you can go for after doing 1-2 as a jab check, right? And then if you want to continue to 1-2-3, it's +4 on block and leaves you outside of jab range. And the reason it's important that it leaves you outside of jab range is because turn this off. If someone responds with like a single jab because they don't know the matchup, or they're just responding on instinct, right? You can duck underneath, obviously, because that's how jabs work, but you can also sidestep attack, right? Right. There's a lot of. The thing is, like, you're +4 when you do this, so, like, the sidestep here is kind of, like, wasting your plus frames, but you can do it for mental games on, like, right? Because, like, you're +4. It's easy access to plus frames. It's +4 with pushback outside of jab range. And that's why it's taking him so long to respond, is because he's -4. So he's doing a 14 frame move essentially every time he jabs, right? Which is pretty good for when you want to set up slower moves. Like, for example, back 4, 17 frames, at +4 it's 13. 4-4-2, 15, essentially becomes 11 frame jab. Can you buffer this? No, you can't. There's stuff like back 2, which is 12 frames, and that +4 is a frame trap. For example, if I turn it on. Right? Then there's an actual 13 frame move that becomes a frame trap. Right? Again, back 4, there's a counter launcher. Talk about that later. You have your 15 frame launcher. You know what I mean? Like, there's stuff you can do. There's, like, you have an 18 frame low. That's basically a 14 frame move. And since it's outside of jab range, you essentially you hit him before he hits you. So you don't trade. Like, you're outside the range with it. There's down 4, 12 frame low. Even though it's -4 in hits, it's a very fast low you can use to just like stop off it. Just go no, no. You know what I mean? It doesn't do any damage. It's just there to be purely like stop offense button. Anyway, let's turn it off. There's a follow-up, as you seen earlier, that's 0 and also leaves you outside of jab range. So what that looks like is, oh, we put on punish. So when you try to press into the hit, it counter hits, leaving you plus 11, right? Or if you try to press into it on the the fourth hit, instead of getting launched, it's plus 11 and it does, what, like 30 some odd damage? Right? Yeah, 36 damage. So it does honestly a good amount of damage. So like there's been times in rounds, right, where, let me turn on the hub real quick. Alright. Where if I hit the full sequence, it's 60 damage. But I don't need to hit this full sequence. Alright, I hit one singular hit, that's a fat chunk of health gone. Which means if it's it was about here. Yeah, you're essentially dead. Because I can just do chip over and over in the end game when you're already low. Right. And then all of a sudden, it's way more damaging. Because you're basically just closer to death. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second. So, like, it's good for resetting the distance. So you can set up things like I'm trying to whiff punish his jab. There we go. Alright, so it's indeed possible to do. It just takes, like, skill, where you can punish them for going for anything by doing, like, an electric, by doing some, like, a backswing blow. Like, a brain... Bro, this is such a brain-dead strength that I spam, and it's a bad habit, where it does put enough pushback that their option, just misses me entirely. Even if it is faster. Right? I get a punish off that, a heating agent. Or you can do something like, or just kind of, because they're at this point, if they understand what's going on, or they know, like, hey, they can't press into that, they're just gonna sit there. And something you can do is, if they're just gonna sit there, bust this out with, like, space it gives you, because you can just do the 3 hits, you +4 space given, charge up. And it's like, you don't want to do the full charge, you want to, like, semi-charge it. What that would look like is if I have it set to 3 to side walk to the right. Oh yeah, they actually did get this move. I forgot. Yeah. So what you can do? Never mind. I've caught people before, but I guess that was just them mistiming it. That has zero tracking whatsoever. That's kind of funny. That's actually genuinely funny. I'm not gonna lie. It's genuinely funny. That's like, okay. So what are the weaknesses of this move? Well, the first two hits are high, so you can duck them. That's obvious, right? Uh, the third hit, even though it is plus on block, is not perfect because after the first two hits, after the first two hits, right? You can jab punish essentially. Right, so see, jab interrupt. And it's like, oh, so what's the big deal? Why is jab interrupt such an annoyance that it deserves to be like brought up, or like why are you bringing it up in the first place? The idea that I'm trying to show is one, if you rely on this move for offense, you can't use it. You can't use it, right? Secondly, it also still shares the weakness of every other Jin move, a double Jin move, and having no tracking at all. So, like, this move that is admittedly strong has a very obvious strong weakness, right? If someone knows the interaction and can react to it, doing this will be the death of you. It will be the death of you, right? And it's even worse. Let's say we do something like quick select, and we bring out someone like, where is he? Jack, who has a special little circumstance where Jack has a 10 frame heat smash. And it's like, oh, it's very character specific. Yes, I understand. Right. And it's like some really, really, really nerdy stuff if someone knows. But that's the whole point of getting better, is that as you get better, you're going to have to be aware of more opponent hits. Yeah. And keep in mind, like, heat smashes used to wall splat, and I'm pretty sure Jack's heat smash still breaks floors. Let me do stage selection. Whoa, no, chill. We'll just do quick select. I'm not about that way in lifestyle. So, like, trying to find a place for the breaker before. There's this one. We can go here.
Get ready for the next battle.
Because in season 2, the punishment, basically the punishment for the move, like getting any sort of like read, like someone reading you, was just death. Like if someone read you, you died. Essentially, like it wasn't a fun place to be. Oh, does that not break floors? It either breaks floor or it breaks walls. And I'm guessing it breaks walls, which means I can test it here.
Get ready for the next battle.
And like again, it's a super hyper specific example, but why did it not? Yeah, whatever. We're gonna have him follow me because I'm not sure why the game decided. All right, cool. Yeah. So if we recreate that scenario, fuck, I did not mean to do that. All right, cool. We're going to save this. So we can recreate it. Cool. Wrong one. All right. Oh, okay. That's kind of scary. Wait, just wait a second. I gotta wait for the to go away. All right, cool. $60 damage into whatever combo into rage, you die. So essentially, you can never use that move. Is the point that I went all this way to, for some reason, show. Like the idea is that with enough character knowledge, you can beat Diligent on like reaction. Does it make you like a mega nerd for knowing? Yeah, it does, but it still doesn't change that you can do it. It still doesn't change the fact that like Diligent has those weaknesses in the first place. That if you exploit, like he kind of just can't use that move. And like I get it, every character has moves that they like just can't use. Because if they use it, they'll just insta die. That's understandable. Stuff like that happens.
Get ready
Alright, that's
for the
just
next
character design.
battle.
That's good character design. Like there's gonna be characters who have those. The issue with Devil Gem's case is the proportion of moves that are unusable without throwing your life away to moves that are perfectly fine to use is out of whack. To the point where you become, they had their gambling character become like essentially like a fundamental character, where you can't use the character without fundamentals or you will insta die instantly. And it's like, yeah, that's the same for every character, but all you have is random bullshit and then Mishima tools. So you only just use the Mishima tools if you want to like play safe. So you're like the most generic Mishima possible. Alright, anyway. Next move. Oh wait, I haven't even covered all the weaknesses. Yeah, I'm not sure who has one. I know Asuka has a parry, I just don't know what the parry is. I know Leroy has a god parry, but that's Leroy. I guess we just use Yoshimitsu for an example.
Get ready for the next
Where all of the hits of the string can be parried. All of them. Which is like the first two is like, yeah, they're unreactable, so who cares? Right? All of them are unreactable, so who cares, right? And then maybe How do I? There's a timing to it. There we go. So like you can parry the move. And if I do this, the timing's probably way off. So like I'm not gonna pretend like it's easy on Yoshi. But it is indeed possible. Something else you can do on Yoshi, which you're probably already thinking, is flash. Since there's that 10 frame gap, you will get flashed. Now, with the launching version, it's trading. But if I were to turn Yoshi's heat off, you win. It's a strange interaction, I know, but you would think you would. The thing is, like, Yoshi's flash loses the distance, so it doesn't trade. So it's like one of those moves where it's just like, that kind of sucks for Yoshi, but at the same time, it's Yoshi. He could just jab you out of your string. Like, I think Yoshi has a very favorable matchup into Diligent for, like, what I understand. Of course, someone can always just prove me wrong. Right. So 11. So it has to be a 10 frame. All right, cool. So it has to be a 10 frame. Actually, hold on. That means if it trades on 11. No, wait, that's 12. That's a 12 frame move, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I don't think Yoshi has any, like, good 11 frame buttons. Alright, cool. And that goes into like a 10 hit string that's really fucking annoying. The idea is essentially that you can jab it, you can sidestep, I'm pretty sure all of the follow-ups maybe? If I'm remembering correctly. Sidewalk to the right after the third hits. Maybe the other way? Yeah. It's on the, like, there's answers, but it's on the fly. So like I'm never gonna pretend like it's an easy thing to do, but if you can do it, that move is like, how are you going to use it? Because like anyone who just has like a down forward 2 is just gonna sidestep and down forward 2 you. You know what I mean? Or like hop kick you. Like you're just, it's kind of like extremely hard to do. But like I that's the only saving grace with like. There's matchup knowledge and there's the execution of said matchup knowledge, which is extremely hard. What other things does Diligent have? Because he objectively has good stuff. I think we should get like a big one out the way, which is his hell sweep, base hell sweep. So if we just take a moment, right? This is his base hell sweep. This is his amp version. Right. I think I have to be like this for it to work. Yeah. You gotta be like off axis a little bit. And then when you do the heat barrier, it like course corrects. So now you're lined up with the wall. Alright, cool. So what is so good about his house sweep? Alright, let's ask ourselves a critical question. Well, for one, let's just be honest. It's a house sweep. It's a knockdown low. Alright, any knockdown low is gonna be good. because you can do Oki afterwards, right? And you're probably tired of me fucking swapping characters, but I don't care. I guess Yoshimitsu, he doesn't have a hell sweep though, so I'm just gonna find someone with the hell sweep.
Get ready for the next battle.
Alright, so with Kazuya, right? Kazuya has a hell sweep. Kazuya's hell sweep does not launch like Diligence, but it is a knockdown. And it's so important, right? That as a character, his entire threat is around the hell sweep. And I know it seems like what he's talking about, he has stuff like City 1+2, he has like forward 4, he has like what's that one move? He has like a I swear he has like a natural hitting fucking launching mid. Or maybe if you're crouched. Oh, that's not the move I wanted to do. Nah, maybe. Huh. I don't know what the move is, but essentially all of his offense is based around the concept of is he going to hell sweep or not? Because his hell sweep sets up the next scenario, which is he gonna hell sweep or not? You know what I mean? So bare bones. So like when he's doing stuff like this and this, right? The idea is if I get knocked down, he's gonna wave dash into me. I can't wave dash from this side. I can't so bad. He's gonna wave dash in, and then he's gonna hell sweep. But then he's playing around that with like City 1+2. You know what I mean? And there's like all the options looks you have is to sidestep to the left. And then he has to like time this move well in order to shut that down, or time back 4 well to shut that down. General concept of the character, right? Pretty basic. It has some bullshit where you can wall splat with it, if I can ever get to the wall. Well, I gotta be on the right axis. See? Wall splat. Get a combo. Blah, blah, blah. Exit out recording. The reason I'm bringing this up is because Diligence serves very differently than all of the rest. And like, it's different than Heihachi's, it's different than Reina's, it's different than Jin's, it's different than, Kazuya's, right? Kazuya's is to set up his next mix and implement like his next mix as a way to essentially gamble away his health bar for more damage, right? Reina uses her hell sweep as like an agitator. Heihachi can use his hell sweep to launch in certain conditions, and then also uses it as a way of like enforcing you to like react and pay attention, because then he has like a mid follow up to the low instead of just doing a double low, right? And then the punish, and if it is honestly like a stat check for Heihachi's, because if you can't punish the move for whatever reason, like you just suck at doing it, because I knew I used to suck at doing it. If you can't punish the move, or you don't have anything offense-wise to truly punish him for uh doing the sweep, like he can just keep doing it over and over. So you have to like react with the hell. You have to react with like a low parry to the hell sweep. Double Jins is different, where he's not doing it to accentuate anything else. He's doing it because it fucking kills you. Like he's doing the hell sweep as the option to murder you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dropping the combo over and over, sadly, but this is a new combo, and I don't actually know the parts. That's good enough. The idea of Devil Jin's Hell Sweep is that essentially you're between a rock and a hard place. Like it's a knife fight, and the guy brings out a fucking Zanpakuto top. That's essentially the scenario you're in, where Devil Jin has a launching mid from crouch, right? That tracks to both sides, and then he has Hell Sweep. So it's a scenario from crouch. He could be either threatening you with Hell Sweep, right? Or he could be threatening you with mid launcher. So it's like, if I could do it. That's or that. And like if you're really good at it, you can do it even faster than that. Or you essentially just bait them into thinking they're gonna hell sweep, and then you hit them with a launching mid, right? And it's actually very crucial to always use hell sweep. I know it seems like very risky, but essentially the hell sweep is such an important option that you have to use it in a match at some point. At some point, right? You want to be as unexpected as possible, right? But you still have to use it. So like, for example, when you're normally using a low from anyone else, like Reina, whenever you use her hell sweep, you don't get much value from it. You have to work for it. When you do Kazuya's hell sweep, you don't get much value from it. You have to be near the wall. When you're Heihachi, you don't get much value. You have to do a third very committal, like essentially they would have to fall asleep at the will to get hit by the second hell sweep leg, right? Or just like not be paying attention, and that will launch them, sure. But most of the time, people are gonna block that and then punish you, and then continue their offense. Right? It's just how it's gonna be. Right? That's just how the characters in this game work. But for Devil Jin, it's different. For Devil Jin, it's a scenario of my low from my wave dash that has a mid mix-up gives me such incredible value that the developers are going to make it that my kit has giant holes everywhere else to exploit. Because when you truly get good at the game and you truly start like getting into the mechanics, right? When you truly start getting into the mechanics of it, you can do quite a lot And people be like, oh, there is like tournament positionings for Devil Jin and stuff like that. Like, yeah, sure, sure. I'll succeed the idea that Devil Jin in a tournament setting is viable. Honestly, I don't care. I'm not a tournament player, and I don't really want to be recording in. That's on me. I messed up. Recording in. All right, cool. All right. So like the reward he gets is very minimal, unless I don't block that second low. And you cannot help. I mean, you cannot do anything but down back block the second hit. All right. So something you can do. I'm trying to do a wave dash from crouch. Can you not do that? I'm just probably not skilled enough. But like, the idea I'm trying to make is like the reward you're getting from Hayachi's low is very minimal. Like very minimal. Like very minimal. But because Devil Jin has a launching low, not only is the mix on this character very devastating, right? This launching low Alright. So he had 100 health to start. Now he's at 12. That's 81 damage from a low. So you can imagine having a game where, let's say, you're not at 50% health. You're at like 25. Oh, that's my health bar. What about the opponent? Let's say you're at 25, which is 50 health. This is dead. You're dead here. Dead. From a low. You're taking 50 damage from a low. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. From my unseeable low, you're taking 50 damage. And if you don't get up, you're getting flipped. And if you try to pressure, you're getting counter hit launched. And if you do block it, it's still safe on block. This situation here is so nasty alone. So nasty alone that you can forgive the weaknesses the character has. Like, I know I bitch and complain about the character's weakness, the character's strength, and blah, blah, blah. And I admit that it's a skill issue at the end of the day. But, like, there's a reason I play certain characters. Having a launching low this accessible... Oh, I can't believe I dropped that. Like, I'm dropping the combo, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I keep dropping it. What, you didn't do 112? Why? So like the idea that I'm trying to say, right, is that a low that gives you access to such high damage if you have the specific combo is very good. Because keep in mind, I had that where he had 50 health and it took 50 health. That's like 70. That's like 70. You know what I mean? Like, and like this feature of the kits is this was, I can't remember if this was in 7 because I didn't play 7 for that long. I played it for like a month and I downloaded it. Right? But like this part of his kit is so strong that like when they have conversations of, hey, we want to increase Doujin's power, I would fully believe that that comes up in the move of like, that comes up as like, oh, we can't buff him because he has XYZ thing with XYZ thing. You know what I mean? And like if they would remove anything and they said, oh, we want to remove the launching low, I would be disappointed because I like the move, but I would understand 100% where they're coming from. Like I would completely 100% understand, like, oh, okay, they want to remove a more toxic part of the game. Got it. I will say the combos in this character is tough. Yeah, I think you just gotta do this stomp there. Anyway, that's not all that I have to talk about with the low. So the low launcher, get access to 70, 80 damage. If the distance is right, you get the wall, you get fucking crazy damage, blah blah blah. I'm trying to figure out why the distance is so off. Oh well. Another part about this move in particular that's good. Sorry to just get lost in the combos. I'm still trying to perfect like all his combos, understand them completely, but for another time. There's the concept of like weak sides in Tekken, where someone has a particular weak side that they would like to step to. So, for example, I don't know why I did that. I could just have him perfectly step to the right. So, if he steps to, like, walks to the right, some of my stuff will miss. If I do this, it will catch him, right? This won't. This won't. This will catch him. This will miss. This hits. Not this though. Like you see, like there's a bunch of moves that miss and some moves that like hits, but like it's like on a theoretical level that they hit. So like there's certain moves that are catching. One of the moves that does catch is house sweep. And it's like, okay, why does that matter? Well, something you can do is if you like ever just do something like this and then like the step and you notice the reaction, most characters would have to go along the process of like, oh, do a homing move. Right? You know what I mean? If you know they're gonna step, right? And you know they're gonna step to your weak side, you can catch them. Right? You can catch them. Which forces them to walk to the other side where you're not strong. I mean, where you're strong. strong is a strong word, but like, oh, I guess. Hold on, walk left. Don't you? I guess you sidewalk left. That wasn't it, because everything's missing, which is quite upsetting. So I guess his true weak side is left, not right. As in, you walk left on your character against Devil and everything will miss. And this is where like the range, like the tracking issues would come into play, where someone go, yeah, this character has bad tracking, and like he does, right? But something interesting is, oh no. I was gonna say, yeah, you can catch him stepping with this. Nah, you can't. That's hilarious. All right, that was in tracking. Officially sucks. I mean, it sucks the entire time from season 1, 2, and we're in season 3. It still sucks. But like, what I was going to say was House Sweep does track to side right movements. And I was wrong about it tracking, like that being your quote unquote weak side. The idea that I'm trying to display is that since it tracks that side, if you see anyone going to that side, you can use it as a tracking move to launch it. Right? It's a pretty simple concept. Another simple concept that is very helpful is like when your opponent is already negative, right, and you know the response after doing something completely fucking negative is to hold back because they're gonna get punished. Instead of taking your punish this way, you can give it that 25, right? Instead of just taking your 25, right, you could. Oh yeah, this game sucks. This game sucks for doing that. You could, in theory, just house sweep as your punish. And it's like, oh, but I can get the guaranteed 25. It's like, yeah. You could. Or... oh, I messed up. You can get the guaranteed 25. That's fine. Or... you can get 64 damage or 66 damage, something like that. Like you can Yeah, whatever combo it is, right? Because I'm not gonna be able to like, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time figuring it out. Whatever the combo is that you use, right? You can get that damage, right? Because of course you can just take your punishment and just like 25 damage. I'm cool with that. Knockdown, whatever, right? Or if you don't want to go for the launcher because you don't want to spend any resources or you're not confident in the combo, right? You could go for a CD44, like Crouch S44, where it does honestly a shit ton of damage. That's fucking 40 damage, which is a throw's worth of damage, right? 35. It does, yeah. It does like the same damage as a throw, right? So like it does insane amounts of damage, for just a low, right? And then it leaves you +7. So it's like, okay, instead of taking my +10 and getting a guaranteed punish, I'm a gamble that he's not gonna react or anticipate this. Get a +7, so I get my damage and it's still my turn again because I take the risk, right? Which is inherently interesting to me. I guess since I've covered it, we can now look at the fact that there's 3 different variations of the Hell Sweep. There's Crouch Dash 4-4. There's the Heat one. Yeah, I dropped that. And then there's just the regular one, right? And my suggestion to you, because here's the thing, when I first did this, right, I didn't do that. That was exactly 50 damage. That's 50 damage. So you had 100. This. Hold on. I keep fucking this up. That's 70, right? If what I used to do before, which I used to do something like, what did I used to do? I think I used to do something like this. Yeah, I used to do this. And like this is 41 damage. 41 damage. So like it's still greater than the 25 that I would have gotten, but it's still not as much because instead of doing all of that, I could have done this. Still the same route. Hold on. Nah, I forgot that like the routes here kind of suck if you aren't doing like the ender. So like I could have just did this. Now it's 50 damage. 50. Technically, okay. Think about it this way. The only way I could break this down to you in a way to display how strong 50 damage is off of a low is if I show you what that really means as far as like health bars. So like he's at 50%, right? So if I increase his health pool back to 100, and we go, okay, I'm just gonna hit one of these, into these, into these. That's 50 damage, right? One of these, into these, into these. Like you know what I mean? Like you can mix and match it. But let's say we just do the pure simple one. We're just gonna do very simple, stomp, flip. I'm actually having a hard time not doing anything else. Alright, stomp, flip. Stomp, flip. Stomp, flip. Stomp, flip. So you can only take 4 of those. You can only get hit by that low 4 times in a match. Which means, let's say, for example, I do regular Devil Drin stuff. and I hit you for half your fucking health bar, and then you guess wrong. You know what I mean? Like if I can land a good hit on you, like that, and then flying for Oki hit this, you officially can only take like poke and one hell sweep. So if I do this, you know what I mean? Like you're cooked. You're just cooked, and that's on top of like the reads I get during a match. For example, if I read that you're gonna do a move that I can sidestep launch, that's 80 damage of the 200 you had. So you can only take 2 hell sweeps. You can only take 1 more hell sweep. Like that's incredibly strong. Because one, I can work off your, it's a low. It's a low with anticipation. So you can do some bullshit like that. I can respond with a sweep instead of punish. Don't do this route. This is bad. Right? And then that's excluding all the other stuff that I can work on during the actual match. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many other, like, if you fall for this, and like this thing, Devil Jin's very explosive, where you want to, let's say you want to duck in a situation where you think, okay, after the combo I need to duck. If he hits you with this, you're in the same situation, right? This, like I've hidden people with back-to-back house switches before, which means if you do something like this, you can do like if I reach the wall there. Hold on, I'm trying to. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's ways of, like, if you can push their body to gain a little bit of distance. And that's what, 72. So he wakes up from that. I do something like, that's the rest of his health bar, and now he can only take 1 health sweep. So if, like everything that I do is now, like, everything he does is now super risky, because I can do something like this and chip away at his health bar. Right? And that's on top of Devil Jin being a character who can access you from over here. You know what I mean? I can do something like, what's another great feature of this said move? In fact, I think even one of the greater features that I like, per se, that I haven't found like a good use case for, is simply doing like that. Right, 35 damage. Sure, it's not the full 50. Because you have basically no reason not to. Right, you have no reason not to. It's more damage. It's greater opportunity for wall carry. Like it's greater wall carry. But this one just feels cool, and it's +7. And there's times where it's like, okay, imagine we're at the wall, right? The situation for Devil Jin slightly changes, where it's like, and you did do 50 damage, sure, but what if you did like at the wall, you like this? It's a grab. Then you could die there, but like this allows you essentially to continue your neutral to give yourself greater opportunity. Because if you're +7 here, then you can do like this move is basically a 13 framer. This move is a frame trap. And some people may be like convinced to press like if we put him on to practice punish crouching. Yeah, bad habit of Bard. You get the general idea. Like he has 3 cool hell sweeps. It's a very strong low. Now the way you're supposed to, well, I shouldn't say supposed. The way that I think about using the move is think about it this way. Yoshimitsu when he uses his flash is a weakness and a strength. Same thing for Devil Jin. When Devil Jin uses his hell sweep is a weakness and a strength. If you block the hell sweep, Devil Jin dies. Just don't put my hands up, he dies. If you bait the flash, Yoshi dies. If the people who are piloting Yoshimitsu and Devil Jin use the launching low in the appropriate spots and use his flash in the appropriate spots and have good reads with the move, it essentially creates a portion of the game where you are uncertain of your safety. Like you can face like a beautiful example of this is you can face what's his name? Victor. Victor is a prime example of he doesn't really have anything, I'm not scared. Because Victor's only real strength is his rushdown ability. Not the actual mix itself, just the rushdown and some of his counter hit tools. Like, I think it's like down back forward. His only low. And that low is super slow. It is launch on block. And of course, it's a low, so you can jump over it. And it's such a heavy load that low level victors and mid level victors rely on that you can kind of like get a feel for when they like to press the button and just get free rounds off them, essentially, because they just can't help themselves but press it because like you aren't ducking, and it will get so bad that victors will begin to grab you because of the fact that you are not ducking. All right. So with Victor, your game plan is to interrupt the interruptible strings, duck the duckable strings, sidestep the very obvious sidesteppable moves, and you win. Is it overly simplistic? Maybe. Is it tried and true for a lot of ranks? Yeah. Like, running into a good Victor is essentially like running into a good Oscar. They exist. They're often high rank. And once you see them, you go, that wasn't so bad. And then you play someone right after on the same character, and you go, this guy's a shitter. I wish I was facing that other guy. Well, I shouldn't say those. Victor, as a character, has a tools that are strong, but they're in categories that make you not scared. Like, he has no good lows, so you just stand block all day, right? And on a read, you duck, kill him. For Delugen, he has a low that will kill you if you let it. Like that's the part that's like kind of funny. The low will kill you if you get hit with 4, not 5, not 6, not 10, 4 hell sweeps. And this is assuming he doesn't get max. This is assuming he's not at the perfect range to get like a full combo. Like, you can get up to like 80 damage if the conditions are right with Delugen, off of his low, right? So let's say you got, unfortunately, like, he like sidestep launched you. Half your health bar is gone. You can only take 2 health sweeps. 2. I mean, he does some like bullshit like this. You can only take 1 and some poke. And that's assuming that he does this. And then he just like back up and lets you come to him and play keep out. Because he has chains. He has like a pretty far reaching low. There's a fast low. Demon Punch, yeah. Has a safe move in that. 444. Right. Has a safe forward advancing string. Like the risks are high, and he can also do this. So like, let's say it's just like a regular get a launch. He wants to save his seats. There, 86 damage. Who's going light? Trying to save his material. Now you're just playing a game. You're just playing it like a regular match here. He's doing chip. He's doing chip. Doing chip. Doing chip. 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 Now he's chipped you into a certain amount of health that you cannot take a single health sweep. And that's the important part that I don't think enough people understand, or hell, that I didn't understand well enough to understand why it would be so, like, why is it so strong? Because I wasn't using it properly. Is because, let's say your opponent's at 50% health. You don't. This isn't 2 health sweeps. This is him. This is like you do a certain amount of chip on block, and this is like whether he does like a good move or not. But right, and you're just setting up the moment. Are you just setting up the moment for when you actually do a health sweep? Because at this health, Chip, right? Locate. Or like, I can do something like this, where I'm just taking permanent health away so you can never get it back. And then I'm doing more Chip. Like, Chip, 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 Chip. Chip. I think you're just almost ready. Like, I actually don't have to do anything. I can just chip away. Of course I can get some low pokes here and there. But this does chip. This does chip. This does chip. You know what I mean? Like, if all these moves do chip, like this one's plus. I can do this into this. Like this is what? 6 damage worth of chip? So if I let's say I do something like because that's a legitimate sequence. That's a legitimate sequence. You can't do that. There's risk involved in the sequence, of course. But like he lets you do the high version to fly in. Right? So like it's in space. Blocking lows give you chip damage, that's coming. Alright, this into this. Alright. And then the chain itself does chip. So it's like I can do chip, chip, manual fly in, chip. And this is a plus like 8 and you're in crouch. Tracking move, that's a mid into chip. Step forward, chip, chip, spacer. Right? And that was what? 40 damage worth of chip in one sequence? One health sweep, you're dead. You get up. You get the idea. In fact, it's even worse. That's 7. That's 7. Okay, cool. It's even worse because at certain points, if it's like... Yeah. Like, that's a fully legitimate sequence. Where I can start off by going this, into this, into this, into this, into this, into this. Sidestep or just pop, like, heat anyway. Into, like, that. Right? It's like, you've been ready to hell sweep. I just have to do it. You know what I mean? Like... Oh yeah, this is heavy monster chip. Hold on. There's 7? Yeah, so I can just end my sequence that way. So I can just do this, 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 into that, like jig jab while rising, or jig jab while rising. Yeah. Because this is something I do all the time, where I just feel like doing this, just do it. I can do. Unblockable. Alright, so you get the general idea. Like one pressure sequence into Hell Sweep at 50% HP and you just fucking lose. You just fucking lose. Regardless of who you are. If you get hit by the Hell Sweep, you're taking 50 damage. And if you're taking 50 damage, if someone can chip you down or poke you down to less, like, to be in that threshold, your life is in danger. Because now I don't have to. I can just do this, play around with spacing. You do a move, Hell Sweep. And the reason I brought up Yoshimitsu and Devil Jin in the same conversation is because Devil Jin's Hell Sweep should be used, in my opinion, the same way you think about Yoshi's Flash. You don't use it for every single plus frame situation. You don't use it for every single time they pop heat. You don't use it for every single time they do a certain string. You do it only here and there to get as much of a maximum reward off the read as possible to win the game. Like you don't just spam these. You don't just pop your feet. It's like, oh, I did it. No. It's like, okay. Mid, low. And like that's the thing, like you gotta play with expectations, and that's why I think like Chip is really strong, in the sense of in moves that you know you cannot punish, like they're safe moves, you can gain something still. Like you know you're facing like fucking O'Brien, this still does chip damage. Sure, he's gonna be trading that chip damage back whenever he blocks it, but that's the time where you like gotta make a read. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have some like level of like, yeah, I'm earning this type of shit. You know what I mean? You can't just like get everything for free. This is 7. This is 7. This is 7. This is 6. So theoretically, with all the moves that give chip on block, you're doing 7, so 100. Well, let's just do 50 divided by 7. 21 is 3, so 6. It's like what? 40. No, 35. 6 times 7 is 35. Because 6 times 5 is 30. Because 6. I mean, no. Yeah, 6 times 5 is 30. So, like, what am I getting 35 from? So 7 times 4 is 28. And then you give it 5. That is... No, so something's off with it. Like, no. Because 7 4 times is 28. Hold on, let me pull up my phone. I feel like I'm bugging. I feel like I'm actually like bugging. Like genuinely. Like something's not clicking for my brain right now, and I'm kind of. All right, here's the calculator. I know why it's so hard to find. So, five. First of all, let's get the answer. Let's get the fucking answer. So 5 times 7 is 35. I was right. And then 7 times 4 is 28, and 28 plus. I'm so fucking dumb. Why was I trying to add 5? It's 7 times 5. As in, 7 times 4 is 28. You don't add 5 to 28. You add 7 because you're incrementing by 7s. So plus 7 would be fucking 35. So I was right. My brain, like, a part of my brain went, nah, that don't make sense. I don't remember that even being like, that don't even seem right. And the other part of my brain is like, yeah, you right, but I can't think of the right answer. Like, I had the answer memorized, but I couldn't, for some reason, like, my brain wouldn't let me, like, there was a point where my brain just, like, had the numbers flipped, and I couldn't logic it out. Okay, I'm glad that's over. I'm glad that was gonna kill me. That was actually gonna haunt me. All right. Now, the question is, right? If you're not supposed to use Hell Sweep, you're supposed to use it like Yoshi sparingly. One of those times. The best times that I have, because remember, I'm still not that crazy. Think of like sequences in which the person is going to be standing. I know that sounds fucking stupid, but hear me out. Let's say every time I do this sequence, they just stand. They don't do anything, they just stand there. Right? Then I know if I do this, he's just gonna stand there. He's not gonna do anything. But if I do this, sorry, is it into me in a crouch? What the fuck? I feel like I'm bugging. Yeah, like you can do something like that, or if you know, if you do this, they're just waiting to punish you. You can do this into nothing, right? The same concept. If they don't understand that it's their turn, you can get away with very sparingly something like that, where like you just go and do this. But this is like real noobish. This is real like scrub shit. Actually, good example of hey, you could hell sweep here is when you get double jabs. Like, let's say you're just walking up, and you go like jab, or you go like jab jab. If they respect that because they're waiting for the follow up, right? Or like they're just being generally patient. Or like let's say you like counter hit them. Like it's your plus, it's your turn. They tried to disrespect. You catch them off guard. You hit them. You don't have to. You don't have to actually conserve those those plus frames. Just use the hell sweep, right? Another good time is on tech rolls. So, for example, if we're at the wall and I have the bot set to side roll to the right. You know what I mean? So like you can punish it that way. And it's like, oh, you gotta wait for the side roll. Like, what if he stays on the ground? Well, if he stays on the ground, and you do it, he gets launched. And if it's like, okay, Like, hold on, we'll have him actually just stay on the ground. Launch. Launch. Damage. Damage. Take flip. Like he can't stay on the ground. Not forever. So it's one of the scenarios where if he side rolls, let's say, left, you miss. Yes. But this is where you pay attention to like how they roll. So let's say you launch him, he gets that, gets it to the wrong side. That's all you. I mean that's all you. Right? It was like, okay, what if he just stays on the ground? Like I said before, you have a foot, use it. Which means for someone who likes to like roll or stay on the ground immediately, because here's a problem: if you do this, your kick will miss if they side roll immediately. So it's definitely like is a guessing game, but you can be educated in your guess, right? Another good example, since we're talking about the stuff, is let's say they like to do like get up kicks. You get a free combo. Let's say it's like recovery kick, like get a free combo. If you think they're going to do a spring attack, it's +8 on hits, but on block, it's launch, as in what? What? It finally worked. Jesus Christ. Alright. What you can do here, what you should do, is if you know they like to, do spring kicks, then step up the way. I mean, pretty much just step out the way. That or block it on purpose to just like get a just to launch him. Whatever you want to do. Now, I didn't cover those in depth because we have to revisit those later. The crucial part of the Lowe's experience, as far as like using it, is obviously what I just showed you, where like they're down on the ground. Two, when someone's doing a bunch of safe moves that you don't know the punish for, or like, I mean, if they have punish, they're not safe. That like you don't know the weakness for, and also just general like +1 block nothing into nothing. You know what I mean? Like that shit's mad fucking annoying. So if someone walks up to you and does this, nothing into this, like back 1+2 slide delay, back 1+2, fucking annoying. Fucking annoying. And I think this is such a good like example of, hey, your frames don't always need to be respected. Like just because someone is +3 doesn't mean you actually have to care sometimes, because like they just keep doing a bunch of slow moves. It's irrelevant. Just interrupt them. Stuff like that, right? As far as like strings go, that like work into it. So I'm not quite sure, but I am getting quite tired, so we have to continue this later. I know I've just been essentially just rambling, and it has been completely unorganized. But I can always just use this as a practice for the actual organized one whenever I go through. But yeah, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys in a couple of hours when I'm feeling more energized.